You know that feeling, right? You get to the end of a long workday, you feel completely drained, you were busy all day, but you didn't really get anything important done. It feels like you were just treading water in an ocean of emails, meetings, and notifications. Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're diving into Cal Newport's incredible book, Deep Work, to really understand a skill that's becoming unbelievably valuable and at the same time almost impossible to find.
Okay, so at the very heart of this whole idea is a giant paradox. And the first piece of it is this. Our modern economy, right now, pays for depth. The ability to do complex, difficult things that really make you think, that's what creates real value. We're talking about mastering a new skill, crafting a brilliant strategy, or writing something truly meaningful. But, and this is the huge but, here's the other side of the coin. Our entire work culture, the tools we use, the offices we sit in, they are practically designed for the exact opposite. Constant pings from Slack, open-plan offices where you can't hear yourself think, the expectation that you'll reply to an email in 3 minutes, it all pulls us towards shallow, distracted, reactive work.
So there it is, right? That's the massive tug of war. The very skills that make you most valuable are the ones our environment is actively trying to kill. So what do? How on earth are you supposed to build focus when literally everything is designed to distract you? That is the big question we're going to tackle. To even begin to solve this, we've got to get our definitions straight. So let's break down these two core ideas, deep work and its opposite, shallow work.
So this is deep work. And notice, it's not just about working hard. The key here is distraction-free concentration. It's the kind of intense focus that actually pushes your brain, makes you better at what you do, and produces something that other people or even an AI can't easily copy.
And this just lays it out perfectly. Deep work is the hard, valuable stuff. Shallow work? Well, that's all the other busy work, answering routine emails, scheduling meetings, posting on social media. It's the logistical stuff that keeps the lights on. Sure, but it doesn't push you. It's easy for anyone to do, and we often do it while we're half distracted anyway. The real danger is when the shallow work completely crowds out the deep.
Okay, so if deep work is so valuable, why isn't everybody doing it all the time? It seems obvious, right? Well, as Newport explains, the modern workplace has basically become a minefield for our focus.
And here are 3 of the main villains. Open offices? Yeah, they were supposed to be for collaboration, but let's be honest, they're often just distraction factories. Then you've got instant messaging, which creates this always-on pressure to respond immediately. And of course, the constant pressure to have a social media presence, which just siphons our attention away from the work that really moves the needle. In this quote, this gets to the psychology of it all. Newport calls it busyness as a proxy for productivity. See, in knowledge work, it's hard to look at someone and measure how much thinking they're doing. So instead, we default to what we can see. Are they typing fast? Are there lights on in Slack? Are they hopping from meeting to meeting? We mistake all that visible activity for actual progress.
All right, so we get it. Deep work is rare. But now let's talk about why mastering this skill isn't just a nice little productivity boost. It's quickly becoming an economic survival skill.
Newport argues that we're living through this massive economic shift. Technology, automation, AI, it's all moving so fast that a lot of old skills are becoming worthless. To stay ahead of the curve, you can't just be good at your job, you have to be able to learn and leverage all this new technology.
So in this new economy, Newport says there are basically 3 groups of people who are going to absolutely thrive. First, the people who can work hand in hand with smart and complex machines. Second, the superstars, the people who are the absolute best at what they do. And third, the owners who can afford to invest in all this new tech. The one thing they all have in common, they operate at an elite level of skill.
So, the billion-dollar question is, how do you get into one of those groups? Well, Newport says it boils down to 2 core abilities. 1, you have to be able to learn hard things fast. And 2, you have to be able to apply that knowledge to produce work at an elite level in terms of both quality and speed. And the one skill that powers both of those abilities is deep work.
I know, this can all sound a little intimidating, but the best part of the book is that Newport doesn't just describe the problem. He gives us a clear, practical roadmap to solve it. A framework of 4 simple rules.
And here they are, the 4 rules. They're straightforward, but they are incredibly powerful when you put them into practice. It's all about building routines, literally training your brain to focus, being ruthless about the tools you use, and systematically eliminating low-value tasks. Rule number 1, work deeply.
is all about creating structure. The huge insight here is that you can't just rely on willpower. It's a finite resource. It's like a phone battery that drains throughout the day. So instead, you need to build rituals and routines, like scheduling deep work into your calendar, so that focusing becomes a habit, not a daily battle. Now, Rule 2. Embrace boredom. This one is a total game changer. We think of concentration as a mood, something we're either in or not, but Newport says no, it's a skill, it's a muscle, and every time you relieve a moment of boredom by glancing at your phone, you're weakening that muscle. You literally have to practice being bored to retrain your brain's ability to focus. For Rule 3, quit social media. The idea isn't to go live in a cave, it's about being way more intentional. He calls it the craftsman approach. Think about it. A master woodworker doesn't just pick up any random tool. She chooses the absolute best one for the job. You should treat your digital tools the same way. Don't ask, does this app offer any benefit? Ask, does this app's positive impact on my biggest goals massively outweigh its negative impacts on my time and focus? And finally, Rule 4. Drain the shallows. This is where you go on offense. You have to start treating shallow work with extreme suspicion. Its ability to destroy your day is always underestimated, and its importance is almost always overestimated. This means scheduling your entire day, putting a hard cap on shallow tasks, and making yourself harder to reach so you can protect your time for what matters.
So, what does all this actually look like when you put it into practice? What happens when you really commit to this? Well, the results can be world-changing. Newport tells this incredible story about a young Bill Gates. The moment the first personal computer came out, he basically dropped everything else. He went into this state of obsessive, non-stop focus to write the basic programming language for it. This wasn't just him working hard. This was a legendary feat of deep work. Just let that sink in. 2 months. While everyone else was distracted by a dozen other things, Gates's singular, intense focus allowed him to basically invent an entire industry out of thin air in a ridiculously short amount of time. That is the power we're talking about here.
And that really is the ultimate promise of this whole idea. This isn't just a collection of productivity hacks. It's a choice to live and work in a fundamentally different way. It's about intentionally stepping away from the shallow, noisy crowd to join the focused few who are actually building the future. So, I'll just leave you with this. Deep work is a skill you can learn, a discipline you can build, and ultimately, a choice you can make. So if you made that choice, if you committed to cultivating that kind of intense focus in your own life, what extraordinary thing could you build? What important problem could you solve? What will you create?